set a course for Constance. If you're sailing around Lake Constance, be sure to drop anchor here. Constance doesn't just offer visitors a breathtaking view, the city is also rich in history. The Imperia statue, by the harbor entrance, commemorates the Council of Constance held here in the Middle Ages. As a local historian explains, many courtesans also came for this ecumenical conference.
We know Constance had 5,000 residents at the time. During this church conference, which took place between 1414 and 1418, 35,000 people of all persuasions and professions descended upon the town, including some 700 courtesans, or the pretty ones as they were described back then.
Those women probably didn't attend discussions in the Constance Cathedral, though. Scholars and church leaders from across the Christian world gathered here to elect a new pope, hoping to put an end to the divide within the church. The conclave, or election of the pope, took place here. The building in which it was held normally served a more mundane purpose.
It was actually a large store built in 1388, and the only election of a pope ever to take place north of the Alps happened here. That was because, unlike the actual council hall, the cathedral, the store was more secure. It was easier to seal off and keep an eye on who was coming and going.
Pope Martin V was elected in this room in 1417. But now it's time to raise sails, or hop on bikes, and set off for our next destination. A bike path goes right around Lake Constance. From the city of Constance, we head to Reichenau with its Benedictine Monastery. The island is an agricultural paradise. Farming and fishing are a way of life here. The monks began cultivating the land on Reichenau centuries ago, and agriculture remains an important source of income to this day. But the island has other attractions too.
Here on Reichenau, we have 3 Romanesque churches that have survived through the ages. Now protected sites on UNESCO's World Heritage List, these churches provide interesting insights into early medieval monastic architecture.
The St. George Church was built in the 9th century and is famous for its murals. That's one reason why Reichenau has an important place in the European art history of this period. Visitors to Reichenau should also be sure not to miss seeing the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul. There are countless attractions on the shores of Lake Constance, but don't forget those in the middle of the lake itself. Like Mainau, every year at this time the island is in full bloom, attracting tourists with over 1 million flowers. The castle is the island's focal point, and the noble Bernadotte family still resides there today. Some say that the Romans were here over 2,000 years ago, though that's never been proven conclusively. Still, those interested in archaeology and history often find what they're looking for at Lake Constance. Thousands of years ago, in the Stone and Bronze Ages, whole settlements here were built on stilts. These lake dwellings have been reconstructed based on the latest scientific evidence. You can make a tour of them at the Open Air Museum in Unteruldingen. Wasserburg boasts an idyllic-looking peninsula. But a very dark chapter in the town's history took place in the former law courts here, known as the Malhaus. Fridolin Altweg shows us where.
We're here in the darkest corner of our lovely Malhaus.
In the 17th century, people accused of practicing witchcraft were held in cells like this.
They left us messages from their time. For example, this Christogram. It means Jesus, Savior of mankind. Or in Latin, Jesus hominum salvator.
Returning to the present, we catch a ride on a steamboat called Felicitas. Wherever you're bound, on Lake Constance you're bound to have a pleasant and interesting trip.
Das ist wie eine kleine Dampflok,